And welcome back to the HCS Charlotte Major here. And right now we've got winners bracket action on your screens. The pool plays are done and dusted. And now we get into the business end of the tournament. FaZe Clan up against Envy. Two teams battling it out, very close in the seeds. Third versus fifth, I believe. So this one promises to have everything that you would want from a series of Halo.
Yeah, this is not going to be an easy series for either team. I think that's to be expected when you get into the winners bracket, but particularly there's a lot of expectation on FaZe, it being the FaZe Major, and also I think an expectation on Envy, considering the performances they've had online and at some other tournaments as well. Now, the real question is, can you actually take down FaZe, who have looked a little bit rocky at times in Game 1, and then maybe build off that?
And there is a little, almost stigma around Envy, where maybe people saying that they're online kids. And that this could be an opportunity to start to put to bed some of those rumors and those naysayers. Silence the haters, shush the doubters. What better place to do it against a team like FaZe Clan?
Well, at the moment, first hill going towards Envy. I had to double check colours for a second.
No, the issue is you would be confused and you'd be forgiven for it, because Envy being a blue team typically, and FaZe being a red team.
I was about to say.
They're all switcheroos.
Little switcheroo, a little dipsy doodle, but it is going to be Envy taking the lead here, and the perfect start they could have asked for, just to pop FaZe on the back foot a little bit here. Precision tries to break into the hill, but will just be gunned down there, as now Yakzn the last remaining player.
And he scurries around bottom middle. For his teammates spot back up, and they get some information for his team. Towards green now, but FaZe have full control of the map. First pick is going to hurt the chances of Envy breaking this setup. Pznguin will fall, so it was traded out, but damage should be still FaZe Clan's advantage. TriPPPeY continues to stand inside that hill. Yakzn over towards big door. SnakeBite puts down covering fire, does some damage, backs him up. Lucid, with the help of the repulsor, goes from bottom to top middle in a hurry. Precision's quite happy to give this one up and play for the rotate. Here comes SnakeBite down in damage, but finds Precision also in a similar situation. SnakeBite drives forward, almost gets one onto the DSCENDANT. Lucid trades that one out. So, 3 dead. Envy prioritizing the rotation, but they've lost it pretty quickly. Lucid, the last man alive for his team, and he's going to try and prioritize taking positioning here, as the rest of Envy spawn over towards green.
Yeah, Lucid taking a spot where he can just try and gain a little bit of info before they start to think about how they want to attack this hill, but they're also controlling top middle at the moment to get control of the sniper rifle. So they've got snipe, they've got camo, and they've got a plasma pistol. And I think Lucid's going to get the jump on the position here, which he will. So now that's the opening they were looking for, but the nade maybe is just going to hold back this push. So expectations now shifted over towards TriPPPeY. Does get the body shot. Can't quite tag with the bandit though, but at least they forced him out the hill.
Although he doesn't get the kill, he does ensure that the shields don't come back that extra beat or two. That can be enough sometimes as you delay. Doesn't want to get inside the hill. From the bait position in this fight, does finally get the kill, but Precision doing a very good job of delaying, and that meant that TriPPPeY couldn't get the kill, get the points in the hill as well. So, FaZe in the ascendancy ever so slightly for the moment, with map control not in progress in the hill, but things looking good for them with 2 dead for Envy.
TriPPPeY listening to every call at the moment, not sure which angle to watch, but he actually turned away from Keydor because he got the call that there was going to be someone there, but they already had the eyes on him, they had the flank on him, so instead he just switched up and changed angles, but yet to find a connection with one of these headshots. But at the moment it's just the sheer presence of the sniper rifle is keeping Envy back.
Piggy trying to evade the line of sight of this sniper rifle over towards scoreboard. Precision does lose his life trying to progress on the map. TriPPPeY again just cannot find the home with these shots, but pressure being applied from the rest of his teammates. SnakeBite gets 2 with the backstab, and FaZe Clan now 2-1 up, and immediately start to rotate, but Envy are going to spawn over towards Mud. So advantage them for now. The onslaught doesn't stop. The action does not stop, and FaZe Clan keep on moving.
Carbide doing its job. Lucid the last remaining player then, so Envy really need to bite back here. If FaZe take a 3-1 lead, it starts to look a little dicey, although I will say on live fire we have seen some pretty incredible comebacks on King of the Hill. It is difficult to play time in certain areas. Lucid showing that his movement around the map has not changed over the years.
Piggy over towards green, Jiggle peeks. Gets 3 shots into his shields for his troubles. Although he's gotten some information, it's quite great cost. Now he goes down, as does Yakzn. Lucid with a tidy double kill. Might not be done there. TriPPPeY's there. A long time duo. Split for a short while, but back together once again. And churning out some of the great hits.
What would you say the great hits are?
Don't look back in anger.
That was very quick response.
Wonderwall.
Well, yeah, without a doubt.
Mr. Brightside.
You can stop there and I think I'd be happy.
I will stop there then.
Pznguin trying to stop Envy there and getting close to the hill, and that's exactly what he will do. He delayed, and now FaZe will have a 3-1 lead here. Descendant, last remaining player, does get the kill onto SnakeBite. Has the damage already been done here? Well, there could be more. Lucid and the sniper rifle, sadly, can't connect, and it does get perfected.
Little bouncing again, the hop from Descendant, just enough to maneuver his hitbox away from that headshot. And now he's got his feet planted inside the hill. Body shot comes from a teammate. It was Piggy with the snipe. Made the kill a lot easier than it could have been for Descendant. He stays inside the hole, just now ventures out. Spots SnakeBite again. This squabble will start right back up again.
The squabble wobble.
Enemy team took the hill.
Piggy then cuts. Back to top middle he goes. Cannot find a home. Cannot connect onto TriPPPeY, who is now forced bottom middle. And he loses a teammate, SnakeBite, who was trying to back him. Precision will chase the kill, or at least try and chase. Gets off out of harm's way, but straight into the waiting and thankful arms of TriPPPeY using that carbine. Ooh! Clay pigeon! He said, pull! And Yakzn shot out of the air, so.
Yakzn said, ow.
Enemy team took
That's
the
not a
hill.
direct quote. We'll have to.
No, it is.
Okay.
I haven't listening.
It's TriPPPeY top tower now.
FaZe are undefeated on this game mapping mode, by the way, throughout this season. 4-0.
Enemy about to score.
Envy 3-1. So it is a good one for both of them. So probably more important for FaZe to be able to solidify this one and just continue that record. SnakeBite just picked up a double in the kill feed. I think it might even be a triple with the trade. Did just stop Envy from scoring straight away, but I think they will make this 3-2, and it's not over yet. Still making a game of this, are Envy, and FaZe, they are going to have to be careful. They don't allow this one just to slip through their fingers.
You can see there's a very clear game plan from FaZe, letting this hill go. Prioritize it, trying to get to rotate, but actually what Envy have done is by delaying scoring, they might open the door here to FaZe. So maybe rethink letting that one go and prioritize getting inside it once more. Finally the hill does go, as does Lucid. Disappears with the use of the quantum. Camouflage now just dissipates. Piggy finds him, spots him out. Now with FaZe pushing over towards the mud side, towards green. It was a backstab. TriPPPeY has to now prioritize staying alive, cannot do so. Precision is there for the scoreboard. These engagements continue to go down, but FaZe going 4 dead for just a moment.
Yeah, this is worrying for FaZe. Envy now in the ascendancy, have control of the hill. Precision in a position where he can potentially get a backstab, depending on where FaZe try and push here as well. He now gets the info there's no one at camo, so he can reposition to just block top mid. And he's going to be a prime spot to get kills here. Lucid did very well with the damage he was able to lay down, but with no one behind him, it now means that FaZe find themselves in a 3 versus 4, and this push is becoming more and more difficult as it goes on, and Envy are getting closer and closer to this 3rd hill for them.
And what I like from Precision is just taking that little half a second inside a house to continue to block the spawns. Then you know you will not be coming from there. Force them over towards towers, and you know exactly what way your gun needs to be facing when you push forward. Delaying that fight has put Envy in a really good position now to capture this 3rd hill, tie us up. Make it just a 1 kill, next cap wins type of game, and they're the ones that we like to play, Dan. 3-3 the score.
Wow, and just like that, FaZe looked like they were comfortable, looked like they were in cruise control. Top middle, they were trying to maybe stall it a little bit.
Maybe what we said, maybe they were in cruise control, and therein lies the issue.
But 3 do go down for Envy, so FaZe to wake up. On the flip side, actually SnakeBite the last remaining. It was a 3-for-3 trade. Great grenade though from SnakeBite. And notice how he didn't take that fight directly with the commando. instead tried to utilize his grenades to his advantage. Sadly, I think he was spotted out and eventually greeted by 2 members of Envy. 4 go dead for FaZe, and now Envy are going to get the first chance to set up here.
I was enjoying TriPPPeY desperately trying to stay alive whilst also emptying his pockets, hoping that he could stick the camouflage player. And in the end, he did get the trade. Although they went 4 dead, he made sure to get rid of the camouflage player, so he was no longer a problem. What is a problem, however, Precision is top tower now. A place and a position of power.
Wow, brave. So brave from Precision. And I like that. If he had just turtled up, if he tried to turn away, you'd probably inevitably die anyway. But he did something with his life. In fact, he got 2 kills off the back of it. And now that means it's going to be difficult for FaZe to try and get into a spot to start scoring.
It's 50 seconds now on the clock, and not that it matters too much. Of course, it's a stalemate at the minute. We're in deadlock 3-3. So regardless of what happens, the next capture is going to win. And it looks as though it's going to be Envy the more likely right now as it stands. Time for that tail to change, no doubt about it. But Piggy top tower, Black Missile fully charged, doesn't get the connection that he would like, settles for the trade. And that will benefit Envy as 2 members of FaZe are in the respawn screen. TriPPPeY and Lucid coming back up, hoping that Pznguin and SnakeBite can cause some ruckus elsewhere.
Just as I said, on live fire you can get those comebacks. Some of these hills, you can really lock them down. You find a lot of time when your opponent least expects it, and that's what FaZe is going to be hoping they can achieve. 2 dead on the side of Envy. Pznguin needs to stay alive here and will be able to position himself to do so, but just skirts up those stairs and walks right into a grenade. And now 2 members of FaZe are down, and this is such a good opportunity for Envy to now win this game.
Game is so scrappy right now, trading everywhere. We will be heading towards overtime. Regulation, not enough to separate these 2 teams in our game 1 and winners bracket round 1. And that's exactly what we want to see. We see teams of this caliber go toe to toe. They lock up, collar and elbow. But Lucid, now he has a sniper rifle. What can he do? What magic can he produce? Body shot's enough then.
At the moment, it's just sheer presence alone that is helping. A couple of these shots just forcing Envy to push from slightly different angles, but Lucid keeps repositioning. Very important that he does that. If he can connect with any of those shots, it would be a game changer here for FaZe. But now, 2 members have gone down, out of sniper rifle ammo. Is Lucid. He's just going to have to try and hold with the bandit, try and delay here for his team to spawn.
Try and desperately connect some snapshots. Nothing finding though, nothing doing. Like you say, had he just hit one of those, now all of a sudden, a 1 shot, and just like that, the flip of a script. Camouflage for Descendant. Envy ticking ever closer to that game 1 victory. Only a matter of time now. Pznguin desperately tries to get there. He will not make it. And it's Envy who draw first blood and open up the scoring. 1-0 in the series.
They were down 3-1 as well, remember. A fantastic comeback from Envy. And just to maybe have FaZe have a couple of worrying thoughts here in this series. I mean, they're all veterans. They won't be immediately concerned, but there's always that seed of doubt in your mind of, well, should we have won that game? We were in a position where we were up. We seemed comfortable. Sadly, they just weren't really able to capitalize on enough of the early dominance they had in that 5th hill. SnakeBite trying his best, 29 and 22. A lot of kills on the side, but it was more even on the side of Envy. 22s and 21s across the board. They all looked in really fine form. All right, that's going to be map 1 done. Map 2 is coming up. It's going to be Slayer on Solitude. We'll see you there.
Game 2 underway then, folks. Envy winning game 1 in a very tightly contested affair. King of the Hill on live fire going 4-3, going as far as it possibly could. The story in the tail of it, maybe, that FaZe let it slip away after being 3-1 up. 3 unanswered hill captures from Envy. Means that they now hold that lead. And they're 2 away from progression. So a lot of work for FaZe to do, and perhaps some criticisms yesterday, Dan, that although their records in the pools were 3-0, that FaZe clan didn't look as good as they could.
No, there was definitely some worrying games, some very scrappy games, but perhaps that was more down to their opponents and who they were playing. For me, I think Cloud9 were a little bit all over the place, and FaZe like to have a bit more structure about their game. They play the more, expected style of Halo. And if you can be a bit more sporadic, catch them off guard, it can punish them a little bit, and I think they struggle at times to deal with that. It's certainly initially, similarly to why we saw them go down in so many games against Luminon, for example, but then they had to fight back because they adjusted, they adapted. And it might be similar in this series. They're already down 12-4 in this game, and bear in mind, FaZe have been incredible at Slayers. This season in general, they are 6-1 on Solitude Slayer as well. So this is a good game type for them by their standards. But Envy, a team who we've not had too much data on when it comes to this map, they were 1-1 in the season. At the moment, they're making it look fairly comfortable.
Sometimes the way this map mode combination can go is if you get off to a hot start, you continue to play good disciplined Halo, you can really build upon that. Because you have that lead, you force the opposing team to push towards you. And if you have the weapons, if you have the power-ups, it can mean that you can double and triple your lead in very quick time.
Brilliant play by Piggy there as well, just making sure he was a difficult kill. Even if he had gone down, he offered up the trade by ensuring that he stayed alive long enough that his teammates will actually help and get the assist. In the end, it was the repulse that allowed him to stay alive in that moment. It's still a 6-kill lead here. Camouflage is going to be the next focus for both teams. But you are completely right. It can get very snowbally here, but that also does mean on the flip side, if you're behind and you take control of the map, you can really get back into these games when you think you're down and out. We've seen comebacks, 15+ kills on Slayer Solitude. So if you're a FaZe fan and you are biting your nails a little bit, being 1-0 down in the series and currently down by 5+ kills, don't worry just yet.
Sometimes all you really need is a camouflage, and that's exactly what Lucid has here. They've cut that lead down now to 3. Ping's coming in. Lucid is hesitant and he's reluctant to shoot. He does finally oblige, just when he needed to. Unfortunately, did lose TriPPPeY in the process.
He was really hesitant to get up close and personal as well. Didn't want to melee. How many times as a camouflage player do you think, yeah, I'm just going to get in melee because it's easy. Then you offer up the counter melee and you find yourself on no shield and then you're very vulnerable to just getting shot by a teammate. So instead, you try and keep your distance, try and just get a couple of shots in and hope that your team can clean things up. If it's not an assassination, you don't really want to go for that melee.
How often do you find yourself, oh, I'll walk behind this player, he doesn't know I'm here, I'll get a back whack, easy kill, and then he turns just a fraction and the hitbox changes. And then all of a sudden, like you say, you get that melee in return, you're vulnerable again. So it's always tough. You're expected to make plays as the camo player, but sometimes you have to wait for your teammates to do a little bit of something to cause distraction so you can then slip through the cracks and pave a path. Speaking of paving a path, Descendant 10-3-6, and he's ensured that Envy hold a really healthy lead now, just pulling away.
Yeah, now it's starting to get a little bit more worrying for FaZe. Again, we're not in panic mode, but we are teetering along that line of...
We're not in DEFCON red, but we're in orange right now.
Yeah, we are starting to maybe prepare those sirens. 10-kill difference. SnakeBite being isolated a little bit, but he is trying to bide his time, and Lucid should have never really won. Sorry, TriPPPeY should have never won that fight. And Killfeed confused me a little bit of what I was looking at, but anyway, they are able to close the gap a little bit by a couple of kills to make it 8. But FaZe just really need to get into control of this game. At the moment, it's been all Envy. Does slow down a little bit because of those couple of kills going their way, and Envy can dictate the pace. Envy can slow it down when they want to because they're ahead.
It is that time where maybe FaZe were hoping that they could light the beacons, but the problem is I'm not even sure Rohan comes to their aid. Envy looking very, very good, it must be said. Playing so well together. And it can be said that maybe there are no superstars in the team, but they work so well together. They make the right plays time and time again. Oh, they're always efficient. Pznguin, against the odds, gets a double kill, spins around, sticks one player, and the explosion is good enough to get 2. Is this the turning point now? Piggy makes sure that it remains a 10-kill lead.
How did Envy handle the pressure as well? You're 12 kills away from going 2-0 up against FaZe in the winners bracket. And you mentioned it, online performances, it's not like this is unheard of. We've seen Envy get to this position in online tournaments and be able to get to the latter stages. But when you get to a major like this, and you're going up against FaZe Clan, the hosts as well, the expectation is going to be that FaZe would be the ones who are progressing. They're the higher seed. But Envy looking like the better team right now. FaZe kind of scrambling just to find kills. I mean, without, like, for example, the double kill that Pznguin got, this game could be 15, 16 kill different. FaZe are doing what they can to try and stay in it, but even with a few kind of lucky moments or big breaks, they are still down by 7.
FaZe is still threading water. Been dragged deep here. They do have some weapons to play with, though. They do have some pressure and damage on the map. Shock rifle for SnakeBite. Now his team could love for him to hit some shots here. And he does, he obliges. Precision gets his life ripped from his hands. Now the engagement goes down on loop. This is perfect now. This is exactly what we warned you about. This is how it goes on this map mode combination. Once you get control, you do not relinquish it in a hurry. You can put some serious damage and points on the board, and that's exactly what we're seeing here. Envy, they're in trouble now. FaZe Clan are on the hunt.
This is how quickly it can change. What was a 10-kill game, now only a 2-kill game, and they still have control of this shock rifle. It's suddenly all tied up, it's all square, and what all of the dominance, all of the control, this entire game that Envy have been working so hard for, has been just blown to smithereens, and finally, FaZe find themselves in the lead, and SnakeBite now has camo plus shock. Big kill if he gets it! He should not have got that kill, and Precision maybe has now opened up the door for FaZe by not securing that kill onto SnakeBite.
Opened up the door, and FaZe Clan appear to be blowing it off the hinges regardless of whether it's open or closed. SnakeBite, game in his hands. Precision pre-fires towards top middle, hoping to hit something, hoping to connect with anything. 2 players over towards Hotel. And check out soon. Piggy.
Look how the dynamics changed here, Shurs. I mean, the whole game, Envy were dictating the pace. Envy were just waiting for FaZe to push, but now FaZe, they're the ones who are holding the positions, holding the angles. And now TriPPPeY capitalizing on the damage that SnakeBite puts down. And again, SnakeBite being a difficult kill. He may have gone down eventually, but all the information he's been able to lay down has allowed now FaZe to get within 1.
1 kill required then. Penguins in an engagement, bottom middle, over towards the loop side, staying alive on the silo. Lucid clears his back, waiting for fresh spawners. They know all 4 players are up now. Guns fired straight. SnakeBite gets the final kill. This series is all tied up.
It is another FaZe Slayer win when they were down at times. And yeah, it was close, but we've seen it. We've seen 50-48s, 50-49s, 50-47s, and now a 50-45. I mean, actually, one of the more dominant performances it looks like in terms of Slayers, but they were down for the majority of that game, but they show why they are one of the top seeds of this tournament with that response. That's game 2, done. Of course, we still have game 3 to come. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we'll see who can take map 3.
And we're live. Back into winner bracket round 1 action. Envy versus FaZe Clan. On board with Pznguin. And this series is delicately poised at 1-1, Dan. And you know this game can well and truly be a swing one.
Sadly, Recharge Strongholds is a 0-3 game type for Envy. They haven't won it so far as a team, which might bode well for FaZe, who have a slightly better record. They're 4-3 throughout the season, so it's not like they are unbeatable on it, but it's certainly better than 0-3. It's better than a 0% record. But, you know, sometimes that 0 has got to go, and that time could be now for Envy.
I do have a question.
Go on then.
They haven't won it as a team.
Right.
Have they won it individually at any point? Can we start to pull stats from matchmaking games?
No, sure. Yeah, I mean, these players on different rosters have won this game type, but this 4 have not won Strongholds Recharge.
Should they have a positive CSO in matchmaking?
I would assume so, as pro players. You mean on this game type?
On this game type.
Can't really confirm that.
We'll dig deeper.
But I'm going to assume
Dan and
so.
I will be better.
I'm going to assume so.
Well, as we were waffling. A and B for Envy. Every time I look at the red down the bottom line, I have to
You want to say
I have to check my brain.
You say Envy.
And I'm looking good right now. For FaZe, very much the opposite. All turtled up inside tower and blue. So you get a couple of kills, either venture out, he takes some space. Yakzn though, Pznguin might have been thinking about it, but he's not thinking much from the respawn screen. Currently sitting at 0, 0, and 4, so needs to get his act together. Does the Pznguin.
They wanted to get Descendant out of Turbine. Sadly, they did temporarily, but there was no one to capitalize on it. And this is a long push from FaZe, and Lucid's gone down, so it's a 3v3 on the map. Making a 3 versus 2. 3 versus 1. Pznguin the last remaining player. So a push that took a long time to really calculate has not come off and paid off, and now Envy looking to try and capitalize, looking to try and take C. It's going to be a trip cack now for Envy.
And people might wonder, well, what does it matter about the extra 5-6 seconds that it took to make that rotation? Well, if you take those 5-6 seconds, then your rotation doesn't work and you lose and you die, you open up the door for this triple cap and you start to hemorrhage points very, very quickly, and that's what we're starting to see here. Envy are in full flow. Maybe a little bit irritated the Slayer game went the way it did after they had a 12-kill lead. Not interested in doing it here. But again, we must err on the side of caution. Actually, Envy maybe need to learn from some of the lessons of the previous game. If you give FaZe a chance on a game type like Strongholds where you can flip the script immediately, gotta keep on keeping on. Do not get complacent here.
That was important there from FaZe. A lot of teams would have probably left TriPPPeY there on his own to cap C and said, look, we need to start moving towards B because we're not going to score off a single. But you also recognize that when there's a trip cap happening, it's very possible single player capping is going to get challenged, which he did. But Pznguin made sure he came in, traded out so that you're not going to be continually scored on by a trip cap. And even though it's still looking pretty dire for FaZe, it could have looked even worse had he not made that play.
For FaZe, although Slayers have been their bread and butter, and they win them more often than not, the issue is when you start to rely on Slayers too much, objective takes a little bit of a hit. Really only winning one objective in every series doesn't look good. Oftentimes we'll say the best teams typically will win the objective game types, and if there's 3 of them in every series and you're losing 2, it's not a good look. The perception will be that you're getting lucky every time you win a game 5 Slayer.
Finally, we're going to see a break. B's going to be taken. It's taken what was close to 3 minutes, I think, to actually break this setup, and now Envy are 215 to 8 ahead. This is going to be a difficult game to come back in on from FaZe, but something that does bode well for them is they've just seen Envy do it, so there's no reason why they can't put that many points on the board. But it's scary because to really get back into this game, you probably have to push for a trip cap. And by doing so, you do leave yourself vulnerable of overextending and then letting Envy back in. Just as I say that, Envy are trying to take B. It looks like Piggy, as the last remaining player, is going to get taken out, and FaZe will continue. Now, will they push towards C and potentially try and get the trip cap? The answer's going to be no. They're going to continue to surround Envy here. They didn't feel like that was the right opportunity to actually try and take the trip.
Lucid did push over towards Blue Wall, and that might have made this setup come undone. Perhaps a miscommunication there. TriPPPeY tried to assist him, but immediately as he popped out, grenades and gunshots rained down upon him. That meant that this setup was broken pretty quickly, and you said, are they going to go for a triple cap? I think some people maybe didn't want to, some did. And here is the issue when that happens. If you're not going together, you're not going at all. And now Envy starting to score again. Piggy has the camouflage. Lucid loses his shields, he tiptoes over towards A. There's a lot of players of FaZe going towards A. A lot of them are weak and down in shields. Assists come the way of Piggy as well. 10 points required now for Envy to go 2-1 up in this series.
And this is insane. I mean, Envy have not looked like they're going to give FaZe even a chance to get back into this game with how they've been playing. C is going to be in control, and if SnakeBite goes down in B here, this could be game. Pznguin saves it.
Pznguin's in the hill, but he paid the price, the ultimate price, his life, in capturing it. Throwing his life at it meant that they stay in the game. That is a trade that every single one of these players in the lobby should be making. How oftentimes, Dan, do you watch an objective game and players won't go for the hill, they won't go for the win?
Don't get me started.
So it is one of the few things that will irritate you. But Yakzn, back to the wall here, desperately trying to stay alive. The player inside the hill with him, he doesn't know where he is.
That was big.
3 dead for FaZe though. And Envy still hold the hill. Grenades are going to clear out B, but can they get there quick enough? The answer, Descendant goes down. Nobody inside the hill just yet. They just got to toe inside. But now it is eerie. Now it is dark. It's got to be perfect from here on out.
I mean, it looks impossible from here. But you never really know with Strongholds. We have seen matches like this overturned. Envy just need to be patient. You don't need to be rushing this one. You can take your time and it should naturally come, and it may come right here.
Right here, right now. Envy capture B, but they lose C, but only for a moment. The reset comes. And Envy do restore their series advantage. 2-1 now, and 1 game away from progressing in the bracket.
Well, just like that 0% record on Stronghold's recharge suddenly gets a nice little tick mark next to it. They find their first victory of the season on that map and mode. And FaZe Clan, they dropped to a 50% win rate. And as I said, it wasn't one of their best game types, FaZe, but you could argue that was one of Envy's worst statistically. But you can clearly see they have been working on it. And now Envy find themselves 2-1 up going into map number 4. And maybe, just maybe, we might have an upset on our cards.
Game 4 underway, folks. Envy versus FaZe Clan. And are we about to see this series come to a conclusion? As Envy find themselves 2-1 to the good. 3 dead now for FaZe as well. So the perfect break, perfect opening here for Envy. And I like this pathing from DSCENDANT, opting to bring the bomb inside of the closet. That way they'll be able to avoid any grenades that will be thrown from players spawning inside of the base. But unfortunately for them, the nades came anyway, the damage followed. And the kills did come the way of FaZe. So, a decent opening break, but nothing to bring home to show them out.
Well, it looks like on the main stage, Shopify Rebellion have just taken down Optic Gaming in the winners bracket as well, just to update you if you are here on this stream. Now, we did move from one of Envy's worst game types to arguably one of Envy's better game types in Assault on Aquarius. And on the flip side for FaZe, this isn't a particularly good one for them either. They have a 5-6 win rate. And that doesn't really bode well for FaZe Clan. But as we've just seen, Envy were able to overturn one of their worst game types, so who's to say FaZe can't do it as well. Now that bomb just being flip-flopped between bases at the moment. Neither have been able to really get it close enough to a plant. Instead, it's just been a battle in these closets.
And it must be said, there is an opportunity here for a team like FaZe or Envy with the way the brackets got skewed, Dan.
Bomb taken.
Your path to a winners finals potentially a little easier than it could have been in the past, provided I've done the maths right and they're not tracking on the same side of the bracket, these teams.
Bomb army.
Bomb has been armed though. And it's Yakzn with hands on. He does go down.
Bomb army.
Precision does apply the finishing touches to that bomb. The fuse is lit. And we have liftoff of this game. Envy take the lead.
Envy now, they're going to be so confident as well to take the lead here, whilst already being up in the series on one of their better game types. This is where they usually look at their best, when they have a little bit of control, when they can play in a way where they encourage teams to push towards them and bring the bomb, break them down, get control of the map, and then they almost counter at times. It's a weird way of playing, but they have made it work.
Lucid tries to tuck his head. Hitbox away, top, middle. Precision though. By name and by nature gets the kill. Camouflage up. Pznguin, SnakeBite, both there trying to contest it. Both players a little bit ragged. Shields in Roughneck. Means that SnakeBite will fall. Pznguin will be able to drop down and stay alive, but top middle now uncontested for a moment. That means a camo grab should go the way of Envy here. That's going to be DSCENDANT. Drops his thruster pack, picks up the camo, gets it in his chest. Nades and gunshots will follow him, but he's managed to just, and I mean just, stay alive.
Yeah, just to go back to your previous point about the side of the bracket, I'm fairly certain that the winner of this would play the winner of TSM and Mindfreak. So, yeah, that side of the bracket, I mean, FaZe will be kicking themselves if they don't take advantage of this. If FaZe were to lose here, then we'd be looking at either Envy, Mindfreak, or TSM to make it to the top 3. Now, if you had said that at the start of the tournament, you maybe would have been like, all right, you know, I can maybe see Envy scraping it through, or Envy, but Mindfreak being in that conversation, you would have said absolutely not. We'll have to see what does happen between that series against Mindfreak and TSM. But yeah, what an opportunity it could be for Envy to, you know, finally get over those claims of them being like online kids or whatever. This could be the moment where they prove themselves and solidify themselves as a top 4 team. If not, technically a top 3 team, depending on what happens.
What a chance, what an opportunity Envy have. And what a timeline we are living in, where Mind Freak is in a conversation to potentially make it to a winners finals. And I'm willing it into existence. What a story it would be right before Worlds for one of our massive international teams to almost make it the distance.
Bomb taken.
We've seen it before with the European team. But beggars belief that an Australian team could make it so far. Here's Precision then.
Bomb taken.
3 members down on his team. And the pistol will connect, and that's good enough to help make that kill nice and easy on the SnakeBite. Bomb down in the closet. And it's in a bit of a precarious position if you're a FaZe Clan fan or a FaZe Clan member for that matter. Bomb now thrown into the base. The issue is 3 go down. Piggy has to prioritize trying to stay alive, but the pressure's going to keep on coming. And you fear it's only a matter of time before he folds. He's trying to delay. He's making them come and find him. If he can get this kill at the Pznguin, it would be huge because his life should really and truly be over by now. Pznguin does survive with the camouflage, and that's big. Now FaZe can begin to venture out and have ambitions of even getting the bomb plant and tying up this game. Lucid gets 1. They have control now. They're pushing the bomb over towards the closet. Yakzn spawns over towards Fridge. Descendant drops out front base. Piggy down the shroom stairs. Numbers are starting to fall. The herd's starting to get thin just a touch now. Piggy goes down, can't get a trade. SnakeBite good for 2. Precision in the back base. Lucid gets him. This is the chance, this is the moment for FaZe Clan to tie us up.
This is where you got to avoid the nades as well. Off spawn, you're probably going to get naded to high heaven, but it looks like SnakeBite's found himself in a position. And look at this. Envy say, we are ignoring this bomb. Let's position ourselves. Let's regain some map control. And we are just giving up, allowing it to be tied up 1-to-1. So FaZe holding on for now. And they are not going to allow Envy to just cruise their way through into the next round. Instead, they are going to have to dig that little bit deeper if they want to take down FaZe Clan here.
3 dead for Envy, 2 on the side of FaZe. This game, you can just feel it's starting to pick up in the pace. Stakes pretty high for FaZe, and indeed for Envy. We've already told you what happens if either team wins this, and the obvious answer is one of them is going to win it, but that's still in the balance for now. Lucid and TriPPPeY in the locker, grenades are going in. Those 2 are in the locker and they don't stay in the locker because they've been taken care of. No longer a part of the equation. SnakeBite goes down, and now it becomes an issue and a concern for Pznguin and co. But Pznguin made a good play. He tossed the bomb into the opposition's courtyard, and that means that any pressure, any ambitions that Envy did have of pushing the bomb forward and getting a plant, it's going to be a long and tough road to get it there.
Five minutes now remaining, and this one's starting to be a little bit nervy for both teams. With how Aquarius bomb works, there's certainly a possibility that next one could be the winning bomb as well. We have seen teams go 1-up with more time and being able to hold on and just keep a team at bay. So we might see teams both erring on the side of caution here and not overcommitting unless they have 3 or 4 down at times. You saw how hard FaZe had to work to get into that base. They were pummeling Envy. 3 down, then 3 down again, then 3 down again before they were able to brute force that bomb in. They made sure it was a definitive plan before they started to move.
Some teams will wait to have a 2 dead before moving the bomb forward, but FaZe wanted absolute control to guarantee it and not risk any counters. Not leaving themselves susceptible to a counter-attack. But an attack is coming, an onslaught is coming. FaZe hook up inside the base. They brace for impact. All 4 members of Envy are coming. And they've got bad intentions here. Yakzn on the stairs. Descendant just about tries to stay alive, but kills do ever so slightly favor FaZe now with the trades. Precision's got the bomb, but he's forced to give it up. He knows the numbers are just not there right now. Lucid steps inside the base, and you know he has ambitions of just tossing the bomb out and getting rid of danger.
Precision shouldn't have got that kill. That was a questionable challenge from Lucid, but I think he had got the call there. It was a 1-shot, so he thought maybe he was going to be looking the other way at Pznguin. Did just mean that Envy has that extra chance, that extra couple of seconds off spawn to get a couple of players into position, but once more, we're back to the Battle of Cart, where this bomb keeps finding itself, going back and forth from gen to gen, from closet to closet, whatever you want to say. Personally, I think gen's quicker to say than closet, but alas. Big nades though, and this is why it's difficult sometimes to force that bomb through that area, because you're just so vulnerable to grenades as well. Really need to be making sure you've got 2 or 3 dead before you start moving it through.
It really is a bottleneck. I'm going to call it closet, perhaps it's killer closet. So many people die inside there. Your average life expectancy is not very high once you step inside. Lucid goes down. TriPPPeY gets 2. Yakzn surveying his options. Biding his time. SnakeBite tosses down a couple of grenades. He knows exactly where Yakzn's position. TriPPPeY's going to pop up now and catch him unawares. 2 members of MB inside of the locker, of the closet, of the gen. Whatever you call it, let's just add more callouts to it. A Pznguin gets another one on the Piggy.
It's worse when I accidentally call it fridge when I'm playing matchmaking. I'm like, well, now I've used a different call out. Just at least get it right.
Warm fridge, cold fridge.
I like warm and cold. There's some good call outs.
There you go.
Let's
rebrand.
Let's be innovative towards the end of Halo Infinite.
Now is the time to
Life's not
change
good
the
in
call
HCS. Although I will say, I'm still hopeful that we'll still have plenty of tournaments next year, regardless of the HCS announcement. We'll have to cross our fingers and see what happens. But for now, we will enjoy what we have in front of us, and that's some bloody good Halo. 1-1, 1 minute 45 left on the clock. Envy slightly on the back foot here. Into defense mode, trying to avoid the gunfire. 2 have already gone down, make it 3, and now FaZe can begin the charge. All 4 dead, and FaZe are going to have a chance to plant here.
This is the moment then, spawning over towards Fridge. That's exactly where FaZe want them to be. Still 3 players in the respawn screen. Nobody seems to be in position to get the stop, and the arm comes through. Lucid, with the camouflage, ensures FaZe take the lead in the end game.
Yeah, 1 minute 25 to defend now. You do not need to plant again. You don't need to be aggressive. I mean, you could if you wanted to, because if you keep getting all 4 dead, you might just naturally want to plant it. But instead, it's about controlling the game, watching out for these spawns, and winning these fights. Don't overcommit too much, but at the same time, you don't want to give too much space and confidence to your opposition either.
It's hold what you have, but still maintain a strong map presence. Do not turtle up, do not give up more than you need to. Make them fight hard for every inch in the map now. Keep that bomb in the courtyard. That's exactly what we're seeing from FaZe here. If you're going to get a plant on against us, you're going to have to work really hard for it. And we're into the final minute now. Yakz's desperately trying to have an influence, but he has to settle for a trade. And the bomb is exactly where FaZe clan needed to be. And TriPPPeY can just bait it and get a backstab when he needs to.
What do Envy have left in the tank? Precision's going to go down. That's going to be another split spawn situation. So Envy will be desperate to try and wait for all 4 of them to be up. But I'm not sure you're going to have time to be too patient here. You have to start pushing the narrative a little bit. 2 have gone down again, though. And I'm afraid this one might just be starting to slip through the fingers of Envy. We might be going to a game 5.
FaZe playing this one perfectly. Ensuring that the bomb didn't reset as well. Just keeping it alive. Getting a touch and dropping it. Keeping it as far away from their base as possible. And that means that FaZe clan, no matter what happens now, will win the game. Will tie us up. We're going to a game 5, baby.
And it's going to be a Slayer. And we've seen what FaZe can do in Slayers so far this tournament, so far this season as this roster. I'd be worried if I was Envy, but of course, you never really know what can happen in these games. Halo Infinite just never ceases to surprise us. So much action-packed games, so back and forth, and surprises always waiting for us around each corner. Here's the stats for you after map 4. But this series has deserved it. We're going to be going to a game 5, but of course we'll go for a quick break first. We'll see you after this.
Welcome back, friends and foes. Game 5 on the horizon, on the cards. The stage is set and delicately poised. Envy 2, FaZe 2. Nothing to separate them after 4. Live Fire Slayer is the location that will settle this squabble here and now. And with FaZe clan Slayer record, Dan, Envy are going to have to produce a little bit of magic.
And not just their Slayer record, but their Slayer live fire record in particular. They are 7-0. They are unbeaten, and it is a pretty impressive statistic. So FaZe will feel fairly confident coming into this game 5, but again, we've been going against the grain in terms of better maps for either team. But I don't even think I would need to see those stats of who's good at this map. I would just be basing off of what I've seen this tournament so far, and that has been FaZe icing up in these game 5s time and time again. Even when they were down by 10+ kills on Solitude, they brought it back. I think Envy will be worried here. And remember, this is such a huge opportunity for both of these teams with how this bracket is currently playing out. You move on to face either TSM or Mindfreak, and I believe TSM are currently 2-0 up. Maybe you've already won that series. So then you potentially are facing TSM for top 3. And no discredit to TSM, that's still going to be a difficult matchup. But it certainly is better than a Shopify or an Optic.
TriPPPeY bottom middle. This game goes down to the crawl. On the knife stage. Double kill, backstab. SnakeBite got another. 3 dead. FaZe with a 1 kill lead. Lucid putting down damage, but the blood spawns are coming. Pznguin can't find that body with the first, nor the face. SnakeBite's there. Lucid and TriPPPeY there as well. So all 4 members of FaZe over on the screen and mud side. Precision has gone over top middle, looking to get a little bit of a backstab and maybe a pinch. Yakzn has cleared SnakeBite out of nest, and that will make any push over towards green difficult for Pznguin to stay alive. Bottom green he goes. Lucid gets a kill, but it gets traded out immediately from Precision. So this game, Dan, at the moment, the pace being set, and it's being set pretty slow.
Pznguin couldn't really keep hold of the sniper rifle to really make it count. TriPPPeY, though, does find a double kill, which could be massive. Well, it's a double kill turned overkill for TriPPPeY. 11 kills on the board now. A big game Trip turning up. Game 5.
BGT. 5 kill advantage. SnakeBite, camouflage, top middle. Sniper rifle in his hands now. And he will now become a huge issue and problem on the map. Although there appears to be 2 sniper rifles on the map, it would seem. But now Envy do have coordinates, GPS of exactly where SnakeBite is positioned. Camo now gone.
Got an ankle tracker on SnakeBite. Sadly, even when you know where he is, he can somehow still pull off a madness and bully you into submission. Now, 5 kill advantage. Envy are staying within reach here. That's all you need to do. It's one thing they learned from going up against FaZe earlier on the Slayer is that as long as you are close enough, there is always a chance of a comeback.
Engagement's going down. Descendant gets 1. Then you see Piggy, top middle, Precision bottom middle. 3 members of Envy in close proximity. The push is going to come. The collapse is going to be successful.
That's unfortunate.
And SnakeBite loses his life. Sniper rifle no longer a problem that Envy have to deal with. And a perfect kill from TriPPPeY, who's answering back. TriPPPeY currently sitting at 12, 3, and 5. And really being a shining light so far for FaZe Clan.
Yeah, he's shooting straight is our Trip. He's got a QT as a failback here, a fallback plan here. Fail safe.
Fail safe, fall
Combine
back.
both of them.
Yup.
Well, TriPPPeY, maybe he'll combine both of them to find a kill. Also, that carbine skin is unsettling. But I kind of like it.
Looks like something that the Borg would use. Not Roy Borg.
No, he'd be a purist. He would be default skins the whole time.
He really would. Descendant shoots the nades just in case they cause his demise in the future. Camouflage up in 2. Both teams going to jostle for position, going to test it. Precision's got it in his chest, but his shields are not looking all that healthy. Pznguin is there, doesn't quite know where Precision is, does spot him out. Doesn't get a melee though. Can Precision just stay alive with this? TriPPPeY puts another tick of damage into him. He has to settle for the stick that will ultimately result in a trade here. But 5 kills then in the mid game is all that separates us. Nothing to separate us again. Like I said, after 4, these 2 teams have been so good this tournament so far. But are Envy about to come undone when the real, true tough test comes their way?
You've also got the worry now of dropping into that elimination bracket and knowing there's the likes of Optic Gaming down there as well, and who knows where you might have to end up facing them to potentially try and reach the placement that you think you deserve. It all changed when Mindfreak beat Optic Gaming. This was always going to be the potential of what would happen in that elimination bracket. It could have been either Shopify or Optic. But With Shopify winning that matchup, it means that Optic will now have to try and go on another incredible elimination bracket run, which they have done before.
It's always impressive how quickly pro players assess that the damage that they're doing isn't going to result in a kill, so why would I keep on firing? Does one tick of damage on the Piggy over towards the nest, knows he's not going to get the kill, no point in keeping on fighting it. Backs away, goes top tower instead. Can re-engage with Piggy when the scenario is a little bit more beneficial to him. Top middle now for Trip. Goes down, gets the repulse, goes straight back top mid. Has to burn one of them, but it's a good burn. You can see Dan, again, both teams acutely aware of what this game means. And because of that, none of them want to make the first mistake, or at least the next mistake.
Well, FaZe have the advantage where they can force Envy to do something here. They say, look, you've got to come to us. If you want to sit here for 5 minutes, we'll win the game 36-29. But now we finally do get some movement. Yakzn gets the opener, Pznguin will trade out. But now SnakeBite follows up, so it's suddenly an 8-kill game, and FaZe starting to crawl towards a victory here. I say crawl. They're probably walking with a stride at the moment. It's Envy who are just about surviving and just trying to stay close enough that maybe they can have that dramatic ending. Big nades. They are within 7. And really this camouflage could play a huge part in how this game ends.
Wonderful game awareness from Yakzn. Clearing that out, not just wasting one nade to try and get the info. He was so sure that player was in the corner. He sent both nades that way to get the kill. Scoreboard reflects 6 kills, the difference. There was a camouflage on the map. We'll have to see what way that went, or even if it did go somewhere. It did indeed. Piggy has got it. It wasn't burned. Maybe they could put this to good work, make inroads into that lead, eat away at it. Piggy gets another. Continues to jump and jostle. Get jiggy with it. That's exactly what they need to do. Still a 5-kill advantage, and even though they have the camouflage, Envy, they're just not able to eat away at this. It's getting traded out. FaZe are playing this one pretty perfectly until I say that, and it's a 2-kill game.
Again, Piggy with it rather than Jiggy with it, and Envy are right back into this one. Piggy now looking to see if he can take a position over towards camouflage.
Ooh.
And he can create an angle, give a little bit of info. Needs to be careful though, and he is sadly going to get collapsed on. And TriPPPeY's able to get an easy kill. SnakeBite also picking one up, so FaZe still stay 4 ahead. Only 6 now required for FaZe to win this one and move on into the winner's semis here. And that's a big kill.
And you have to be careful sometimes. If you find yourself getting back into the game, you're within 2, you get overzealous, overconfident, too excited, and you run straight into the fresh spawners.
Uh-oh.
And that was a fresh 4 kills without reply that FaZe were able to get. This is a difficult kill for TriPPPeY. Descendant makes himself really tough kill. He finally does get it in though, and doesn't have to get a trade. Although Descendant delayed as long as he possibly could, he wasn't able to get any value from it in the end. Although his teammates spawned back up, but nobody on hand to capitalize on the damage and the delay that he did to maybe even get a trade from. 3 kills now for FaZe, 7 required for Envy. And again, the game slows down.
30 seconds until camouflage is going to spawn, and TriPPPeY's putting himself in prime position. But I love that game recognition from Yakzn. Just game knowledge, knowing there's going to be a player possibly there. Hits the shot, and now it's within 3. And Envy potentially have control of that camo side. But the pace does pick up a little bit. Now Precision gets the opener onto SnakeBite, and FaZe, tails between their legs here, are just going to start to back off, backpedal. And that's going to open up the camouflage maybe here for Envy.
Is the game just to end with a flurry now? It stopped, but
Oh,
it almost like the blocks opened up and action all around the map. 1-kill game. SnakeBite's in massive trouble here. 3 members of Envy trained over towards the camouflage. Body shot connects. TriPPPeY steps out, gets 1. And now all of a sudden what looked like a pretty good position has completely flipped on its head, and SnakeBite gets the final kill. Hits 5 fresh shots. And FaZe complete the comeback with a Game 5 victory.
FaZe do it again on a Slayer. Can anyone take them down in Slayers at this point? It really could be the key to their success as this tournament continues to go on, and they will find themselves in the winners' semi-finals. Envy, even though they gave it a bloody good effort, sadly could not get that one step further and will find themselves dropping into the elimination bracket. TriPPPeY, SnakeBite, both putting up big numbers. But ultimately, FaZe come out on top, and FaZe will stay alive here, shows.
So much invested on the side of Envy. So close, yet so far. A really frustrating loss. Lots to take away from it, though. When you go back and you check out the VOD, you know they'll be looking at little moments, little details. If only we'd turned this way, if only we'd shot that way. And ultimately, that's what it comes down to sometimes, those little moments. We speak about it so often, and with good reason. 4 kills in the end, but the game really didn't reflect the 4-kill game, Dan. This could very easily have been a 50-49 with the way it played out in many moments. But FaZe again, they ice up. Well, that's all we've got time for now, but rest assured there is more good Halo coming your way. Don't go anywhere, folks.